Hi everyone, it's Ken here. This is my Hawaii or my Honolulu trip. Recently did a quick trip to Hawaii for about 4 or 5 days on my way to the US. It's an awesome stopover. So I live in Perth, Western Australia, and basically stopped over in Perth. Went to Sydney, went to Honolulu, Hawaii. So let's have a quick look at some of the media that I got. So the first day, I didn't do too much. I didn't capture too much media. It was more about experiencing and seeing what was around. So first day I got there, did a walk along the Waikiki Strip. And the Waikiki Strip is pretty cool. It's almost like Thailand in a way. It's very beach oriented. Saw this really cool store called Crazy Tees. They do all these locally made screen printed shirts with awesome dyes made of the local vegetables and plant life. So that was a really cool experience. And I managed to pick up some shirts, Grateful Dead collaboration shirts, which was awesome because my next stopover was in Las Vegas, and that was for a Grateful Dead concert or a Dead & Co concert. So had a really good time in Hawaii. The rest of the day I spent walking around, and I ended up seeing some local Hawaiian steel guitar, which is really cool. Did a little bit more walking around. There's not too much media for the day, but had a good evening. Met someone from my hostel, and it was a pretty chill day in Hawaii, preparing my body and my soul for the next day. So day 2, this is where it gets a little bit more eventful. So day 2, I caught up with someone from the hostel. I woke up at around 4 a.m. since I hadn't really acclimatized, and ended up going to one of these food trucks that sells Malasadas, which is Leonard's. Leonard's is a brand that's very famous apparently in Hawaii. And we had like these malasada donuts, basically like deep fried donuts. They were alright. They're kind of like the stuffing in them was okay. It was kind of like jello. I wouldn't rate them as my top bakery Danish when traveling. Definitely having beignets, however you say them, in New Orleans was much more of a highlight, but still a cool experience. And then after that, we went to the Pearl Harbor Museum. Is it a museum? It's definitely not an attraction. And one of the things I did say was, what is the main attraction? To one of the guys working here at the national parks. And they basically kind of schooled me and said, this is not an attraction, this is a memorial. So while it did hurt to receive that feedback, I also understood it. So keeping that in mind, Pearl Harbor is a memorial. It is to tell a story of American history, especially around the time of 1942, if I'm not mistaken, which is when the Japanese invaded Pearl Harbor. Some torpedoes were blasted, and ships and many people died. And they took us out, and these were like trained military people, and they were taking us on the boat to this memorial. It's really, really awesomely designed. I'd strongly recommend looking into it, and learned quite a bit. So on the way back and on the way there, you do see a lot of the military battleships, and the battleships basically have some of the state-of-the-art equipment. They got planes that I can't even name of, some cool planes with folding wings. If anyone knows what those are, please comment below. And then I got some photos. Really highlight or a memorable part of my holiday, actually, going to this war memorial. It's not every day that you get to learn a lot of history, and travel kind of allows you to open your mind and makes the time for you to really absorb this information and kind of think about how the world worked back in the day. After that, we ended up going to one of the biggest markets in the state. So here at the Aloha Stadium Swap Meet and Marketplace, apparently one of the biggest markets in the state, so lucky I came out on a Sunday. And this was a really big market, had lots of Japanese influence, it had a lot of Filipino influence, and you can see that in the food, you can see that in the people selling at the stores. Fun fact, apparently Hawaii has a big population of Japanese, with Japanese people making up maybe the highest population. After that, decided to go to Chinatown, and Chinatown was pretty cool. I swear I go to Chinatown wherever I go. Just got to Chinatown. So just got to this iconic site, if you recognize it. After that, ended up doing some surfing. Finished my first ever surfing lesson on a 12-foot longboard. I managed to get up every single time. The first time I got up, I was so surprised with myself that some bloke was in front of me. So I hopped off and my board ended up hitting his face, which was really unfortunate. But he was super aggressive about it. So, I don't know. Look at that view, by the way. So next thing I'm doing today is gonna hop on the ultimate Frisbee, and that'll be fun. So hopefully I can meet some locals. But I also knew that I had to catch up with a Facebook group for Frisbee. So I caught up with the Frisbee Facebook group and we ended up spending the evening together. I met a bunch of locals, had a lot of good food, and then made my way home. And yeah, that was a really eventful day, just so much stuff getting done. Yeah, I wish I could really explain how I felt about that day, but unfortunately media doesn't capture that. Those are just experiences and memories in my head. So day 3, did a little bit more surfing in the morning, woke up quite early. Yeah, here's a picture of me with my friend Ishan. Ishan, funnily enough, he's watched one of my videos before and he ended up knowing me because of this specific video. You'll find out a bit later in this series. Maybe you want to go to San Fran. And it's amazing. I publish a video and I meet people when traveling. This is like the first time this has ever happened to me, so it's just quite an experience. Someone that I had no prior contact with. So we ended up catching up in San Fran because he works there. I had big Korean barbecue all by myself. Gosh, it was so expensive, but so worth it. It's the first time I've ever been full from Korean barbecue. And I got real tired after going to that mall after eating a big feed. Oh dear, I really got my money's worth, I reckon. Next spot we're off to is to get a proper traditional Hawaiian shirt. So, been on my bucket list to find a high quality one. I don't mind if it's second hand as long as it's a good quality one and it's got life in it. So we're going to maybe one of the best Hawaiian t-shirt places in town. And basically went to this Hawaiian shirt shop. And this Hawaiian shirt shop is probably one of the best that you can find in Waikiki, if not Hawaii. And based off like a $7 shirt all the way to like a $700 Hawaiian shirt. And there's different ways you can check for quality, which one of the videos out there I will probably have you show. So I'm really happy with my purchase. Got a nice Hawaiian shirt. Even got it discounted to $39. Special tricks. In that evening, I caught up with people who had joined my hostel. I had some new hostel buddies because some people have moved out. Ended up knowing someone from Melbourne, Australia, Ireland, and there was a few other people in my hostel. Shout out to them. We ended up having a nice meal and discussing some new things to do the following day. Okay, so next day, which is day 4. Day 4, ended up doing a little bit more surfing in the morning. So, did some surfing this morning. It's pretty awesome. I'm managing to get up, but the waves aren't big enough for me to do anything. And managed to book a car. So, yeah, cool.
Oh man, I am keen. Look at this. Detachable roof. Awesome view. Let's go.
So that very day, we decided to drive to a pineapple factory. Just did a quick drive, then I headed to Dole Plantation. Gotta go get some pineapple and corn, I guess. And at the pineapple factory, they had this awesome ice cream. Apparently the Dole Plantation is really popular. I've never really seen them. That's nice. Yeah, basically went to a pineapple farm. We drove up, and then we saw this whole field of pineapples, and then we hit like these pine trees. And on the way, we saw food trucks, and food trucks in Hawaii are a big thing. So we ended up going to this garlic prawns food truck. I had some of the nicest garlic prawns I've ever had in my life. Oh my gosh. So next stop after our lovely lunch was to go to a turtle beach, and we saw some Hawaiian green turtles, terrapins. It's a very common motif in Grateful Dead culture as well. The turtles playing banjo. So I saw some turtles. They even came up on shore with some cool videos and photos of them. I was really happy with that. Just what a cool experience. I know we have turtles here in Australia, but it's just so cool to see Hawaiian turtles, you know? Saw a little sea urchin, and then after that, the ground was so hot. It's really important that you bring the right gear, like sandals, even reef shoes, and all sorts of things like that. I didn't really prepare, so my feet would just burn the whole time.
Oh, well, this guy. Big turtle.
But yeah, we drove around, and then we went to one of the nicest beaches I have ever been to. This beach was awesome. It had a big rock where kids could jump off it. It had a really deep ocean, which was steep. It's really hard to document that on film. But I had a really good time there, just meeting locals, jumping off rocks, and just having fun. I felt like a kid again. I've got some awesome footage from it as well. Let's see if we can put it up. Just like drone footage, and then showing the rocks and all sorts of different things. So I was really happy to get some footage around there. That's probably one of my favorite beaches. I'll try to remember the name of it, or I'll try to put it up on the screen here as well, just so I can remember and other people can visit it, hopefully. So after that, it was already like mid-afternoon, and we hadn't even reached the tip of Oahu. So one of my bucket list items was to go to China Wall, which is this, what's it called? It's an attraction. It's a location somewhere a little bit on the east coast of Oahu, Hawaii. And we were planning to get there, but we were already so far back. And it takes maybe around 2 hours drive to drive around the whole island, I've been told. I don't know how true that is. It didn't feel like it. So we basically kept driving. I fell asleep. I even got my friend Troy to take over the reins, and then yeah, that was really nice that I could get some sleep in there before we drove to China Wall. And this is where it got really cool. So the sun was setting, and then we saw the tip of one of the volcanoes. So I sent my drone up there, and just got this really cool panning shot over one side of the island. And then we arrived at China Walls, not China. And China Wall is a really cool section of Hawaii. It's almost like the terrain gets all deserty and gets all California desert in one certain section of the island. And this is a part where all these juvenile kids, they'll be like smoking and they'll be drinking at this location, but it's also a really cool tourist attraction. And then dropped the boys back at the hostel, and then I ended up driving the car right back to the place I picked it up in the morning. One last video for the very last day, and this is basically the day that I'm flying out. The good thing about this hostel, which is the beach by Aloha in Waikiki, is that it's right next to the beach. Literally on the other side of this block. So it's probably one of the cheapest, most affordable, yet highest quality hostels I've stayed at. It's also super near a zoo, which is an awesome reference. It's an awesome reference when calling an Uber or just trying to find your bearings on the map. Would recommend. I'm really feeling like some flaming hot Cheetos. They also have a drug and smoking free policy, which is super good if you don't like getting smoke blown in your face, if you don't like breathing it. But that doesn't stop people from doing it outside. So yeah, if that's your thing, that's an also added benefit. So just walking down the strip, trying to find my last souvenir, which is basically a sticker. I'll show some videos of this strip so you can actually see what it's like as well. Hawaii, so I did do so. Got some shaved ice and picked up some final souvenirs. So this is the very last of my Honolulu adventures. A really beautiful island, just how movies and everything portrays it to be, if not better. I had a really great time. With the time that I had, I made the best use of it that I could. And if you are thinking about going to Honolulu, Hawaii, Oahu, or any of the surrounding islands, like the Big Island, that might be the next spot if I ever get back. I would strongly recommend it. Hopefully this video has convinced you to even start planning, dreaming, and yeah, what an experience. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. Most importantly, thank you for spending the time to watch this video. I'll see you later.